Welcome, guys. It is Sunday, the 21st of August. Sorry, I almost forgot the date.
It's always Sunday we do this, right?
It is Sunday, the 21st of August at 8 a.m. and this is the NZ Travel Show.
And this is Robin, and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide, because it literally has thousands and thousands of articles for you guys to plan the perfect trip to New Zealand. And it's all 100% free to use, so it's a perfect place to get started. Now that the borders are all open, it's time to start planning your trip right now. But if you're not really into reading, well, this is what this NZ Travel Show is all about. So you guys can come onto the live chat and ask your New Zealand travel questions directly to the experts, and we go through every single comment that we get in the live chat, so don't be shy. But if you do miss the live show, you can always put your questions in the comment section of any of our YouTube videos, and yeah, we will go through them, pretty quickly. Robin's pretty good at that. So yeah, welcome guys, and ask your New Zealand travel questions.
All right, so it started this morning with Fabio that says Ata Mary, or what does it mean, Laura?
I guess, hello.
The same thing than usual.
Yeah.
Might be late today, he say, and say maybe on the Patreon live stream only. So yeah, we have an extra hour of this live session every week for Patreon subscribers. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Fabio there. We also have Prince that says, hey, how are you guys doing today? We're doing pretty well, mate. Thank you very much for asking. It is almost the end of winter right now in New Zealand. Spring starts in September, so we are about 9-10 days away from spring, which we're pretty excited about. It's been cold and rainy. It's been a lot of rain.
Winter is certainly going out with a bang, but we can talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah. So Prince says, I have a cruise ship visa, but I would like to visit Fiji before New Zealand. So do you guys know any cruise ship to recommend to me?
So most of the South Pacific cruises that visit both New Zealand and Fiji tend to actually start from New Zealand or start from Australia. So it's actually better to do that. Usually you'll have more options if you do that the other way around, if you start in New Zealand and take a cruise ship that includes Fiji in the itinerary. So a couple of cruise ship companies that often start from New Zealand, starting in Auckland and visiting Fiji, include Carnival Cruises and P&O Cruises. So if you want to check out their latest cruise ship itineraries, they're more likely to have something that would suit your trip. But yeah, it would be quite challenging
at
to
the moment.
Find
yeah, it's tough. Yeah,
it would be quite challenging to, especially find it going the other way around, because like I say, usually those South Pacific cruises, if they are visiting both New Zealand and Fiji, they're going to usually start from New Zealand.
I can't remove the heat like on the screen, so we will keep it for a little bit and I'll try again later.
It's doing a little bit of a flash.
Sorry about that, guys. I just want to put it on just like from time to time, but I can't remove it right now. All right. Baby Burns is sup, guys. That's awesome. Thank you very much for being on board. And that's cool that for once you're showing up like literally at the beginning of the live session. I love that. Jaro is here saying kia ora, guys. We also have Christina, which is here saying kia ora. Sander de Vries saying, morning, guys. How are you today? Doing really awesome. Good. That's cool that you are joining us that early. Hopefully all of you guys are making it all the way to the Patreon live session. That'd be a lot of fun to all hang out together there. Yeah, doing all right, like morally, mentally. You feeling good today, Laura?
Yeah, morally I'm good.
Yeah,
Thanks for asking.
The weather has been really, like weather-wise, we're doing appalling. It's appalling outside.
It's just one of those
but yeah.
One of those sort of weather where you never see the sun.
Yeah,
and
we haven't seen the sun like
dark,
what?
And it's just like dreary.
4 or 5 days we haven't seen the sun. It's a little bit like, ugh. Yeah. But yeah. All right, so Rafa Cat says, good morning, guys, from Leeds, UK. How is the weather in New Zealand? I was watching New Zealand news and it sounds bad. Yeah, it is pretty bad. And so New Zealand has a lot of cities and towns which didn't really have flood waters city planning management plan in place. Basically, that's a lot of words, but yeah, so they really didn't have a plan in place, and a lot of housing have been allowed to be built in places which are often and heavily flooded. And as we are going through a really big patch of a lot of rain at the moment, it is kind of it's kind of biting. So yeah, there is a lot of places which have like landslip and everything, but it's over urbanization of land. I mean, it happens pretty much everywhere in the world. So yeah. All right. So we have Uheli Egert that has a question for you, Laura.
Yeah, saying, hi guys, I'm a bit unsure about how to properly dress in layers.
Somebody has watched my video. I like it.
Soft versus hard shell jackets. Which one do you prefer or recommend in New Zealand? I'll arrive in September on a working holiday visa. By the way, thanks for helping us.
Hey, you're very welcome. So, by the way, you're very welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about dressing up in layers. So, I appreciate this question. That means that you probably have watched one of the hundreds of videos that I published in the last couple of weeks, and there is more to come. Sadly, there won't be much video this week just because, well, the weather is not playing, so I can't go record them. So yeah, I'm not going to go. I love you guys, but I'm not going to go get absolutely drenched for 12 hours outside just to record a couple of videos. Plus, that wouldn't be that fun to watch me like literally shiver. Like, well, guys,
you really
today my
need your
travel
layers,
tips,
guys.
the best things to do under the rain. Yeah. Not much. Anyway, that's cool that you watched the video. Okay, so dressing up in layers. So all we mean is that we've seen a lot of people that literally just pack like one really heavy jumper or one really heavy jacket, and that's what they're going to rely on if they get cold. What you're better off is getting those kind of thin layers and have multiple of those. So for example, this kind of thin layers, and then underneath you can have a t-shirt like I have, and in between you could have one of those merino wool under thermal layers, those kind of
thermal layer,
a thermal layer.
Yeah.
So you can have one of those as well. So that's already 3 layers. Then on top of that, you can have something smaller, such as a soft shell jacket, and that will literally keep you as warm as those really big puffy jackets, because you have 4 layers basically. You have the t-shirt, the thermal, and the jumper, and then the soft shell. And therefore, when the weather starts getting more clement and better, at that point you can just decide to take off that jumper or take off the thermal layer or vice versa, and that will really be helpful with that. So basically all we're saying when we ask people to dress in layer, when we advise people to dress in layer, dress with layers.
Dress with layers. Yeah.
Dress with layer. So when we ask people to dress with layers, all we ask is just to have enough thin layers to be able to shed them off throughout the day. So rather than thinking about, I really need something for really, really, really cold weather, which you will genuinely only need when you go to the alpine areas of the South Island in winter. But even honestly, with this layer that I just described, this 4-layer system that I just described, you can literally take those tools that will take you, like heli skiing, or not heli skiing, ski planes on Mount Cook and everything. You'll be absolutely fine with that. And if you happen to do those glacier climbing anyway, they give you those extra jacket on top of it anyway, so they're the perfect things to wear underneath. So basically it will do 99% of your situations in New Zealand, rather than having this big jumper, this big puffy jacket, because then you remove it and then you genuinely are too cold because there is no middle ground.
Yeah.
So we want to help you have middle grounds with your layers, and that's why we advise that. I hope I was clear enough, but if I'm not, just ask a follow-up questions and we can discuss that a bit more in depth. Also, if you want next comment, can you just give me a name I can call you, because ULGT, I can't pronounce that. So just tell me if your name is Bob or Brian, or make one name up if you want. That'd be nice.
Just another thing to include with that is make sure that you're not that you have to wear it for the whole time, but make sure that when you are actually going in the outdoors that you do have something that is waterproof. So if your soft jacket or hard shell jacket or whatever you decide to choose, say that isn't waterproof, make sure that at least you have like a small waterproof jacket that you can put on top, because the weather's very changeable in New Zealand. So even in September, you could be out and about and then all of a sudden it starts raining, and people tend to opt for rain jackets rather than umbrellas. Because usually it's too windy for umbrellas and it becomes a bit of a nightmare trying to tackle an umbrella with the wind and the rain. So it's usually better to have a rain jacket on hand if you are out and about for most of the day.
And to add to this, I'm going to add 2 things. First up, you do need a good quality rain jacket when coming to New Zealand, so make sure that you shop for a good one. Just because it's going to rain quite a lot.
Not just like a poncho that you get free from Disney World or something.
Or even those things like in tiny little bags, and they're really not not great. My zipper is still down. All right, done. But the other thing I would like to add is quite a few people also, and that's why we kind of keep on talking about the layers, right? quite a few people we see, they come to New Zealand and they're planning on doing some skiing in New Zealand, and that's great. That's fine. You should do that. It's a lot of fun. But they are taking their ski jacket as their rain jackets, when in New Zealand. So they have this big bulky rain jacket that takes 99% of your backpack when you go on a walk or anything like that, and it's really hot and just not fun. You do need a good rain jacket you can take on and off. So those kind of thin but good quality kind of rain jacket, and you see us in all the videos on the New Zealand's Biggest Gap Year, for example. You see us wearing those rain jackets.
Or more particularly, Robin is wearing good rain jackets. In New Zealand's Biggest Gap Year, I did have a bit of a crappy.
Oh yeah, you had a crappy one. Yeah. So anyway, watch the one I'm wearing. That's the kind of jacket that you may wanna wear. And if you have follow-up questions, I'll send Laura. She's on the other door. She can go and get it if we need that. But so very good quality rain jacket with a rain jacket that you can kind of fold and unpack and pack. That would be the perfect thing, because like the rain is really not that bad, right? Especially if you stay warm in there, especially if you do have merino wool layers that don't get too cold and everything. The rain is really not too much of a bother. Mm-hmm. All right, so I said hi to Jaro already, and he says, thanks to all the great videos you published in the last few days. Yeah, I've done a lot of them, and I'm trying to make them shorter now. It's just kind of like something quick that you can watch on the bug, and you keep on like learning more about New Zealand and everything like that. So I'm getting a little bit sick about all those videos that I'm personally watching on other channel of other things, not to do with New Zealand. And everything on YouTube at the moment is trying to stretch it as long as possible to put as much ad as possible in there. I'm like, this is driving me nuts. So literally, I'm creating a complete guide to New Zealand with those short videos. So there is in my plan, I have 45 more to come. I just need the time to be able to record them. And obviously publish them, and I need the weather to play ball with me, so we'll see when that's happening. But there is about 45 more to come, and then we regularly update those videos, so we'll redo them as things changes, and so we have those one as the core part of our channel, and keep on keeping those things up. And I hope that's really helpful, and I appreciate the kind word, Jaro. They really have very little amount of views, and that's always the same thing, right? I feel like every single time I care a lot about something and I do it, it is a complete nightmare and disaster, but that's all fine. I've started that process. I will finish it. But they all have under 100 views, which is great. I mean, wow. Awesome. What a success. Anyway, pat on my back.
Yeah.
Lawrence is saying something. Another one of our amazing Patreon.
Yeah, says, good morning, Laura, Robin, and everyone.
I like that. All right, before we read Nathan's comments, what about we do the question of the day? I just realized I haven't told people. We're like 15 minutes in and we haven't talked about the question of the day.
Okay, get that jingle. I like the instrumental.
Yeah, I know. Look at that. Okay, so question of the day. This is ridiculous. All right, so today we are curious about your travel plans coming to New Zealand. So for your next trip to New Zealand, are you planning on traveling and visiting other countries along the way? So will you be visiting Australia? Will you be visiting some South Pacific countries? Will you be visiting other countries? And if so, just tell us in the comments. I'm really curious. Or will you be visiting just New Zealand? So vote in the live chat, in the live chat. Vote in the live chat, and at the end of the video, we'll go over the results. Okay, what's Nathan having to say?
Nathan says, Morena, Laura, and Robin, and everyone else. Sorry I can't stay, but I just wanted to pop in.
Oh, hello, Nathan.
Well,
that's
thanks
nice.
for popping in, Nathan.
Yes, what does Morena mean, Laura?
It means good morning the Maori language.
All right. His name is Kit, so I pre-read the comment. So yes, Kit says, I'm afraid of the rain most, and that's why I ask. My name is Kit, yep, and thanks for the answer. You guys are the best. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, no, we definitely have much more tips for you. Definitely keep on watching all those million videos that I'm publishing. But yeah, go ahead. Tell us a little bit more about your trip. So you're coming in September for the working holiday visa. Will you follow our advice and only stay in Auckland for about a week and start traveling? Or what's your plan?
Or are you going to stay in Auckland for the whole time?
All right.
Don't be that guy.
Kids, tell us a little bit about your plans. Yeah, we want to know. What is Helen having to say?
Helen Wilkinson says, good evening, Robin and Laura from England. Good evening.
How are you doing, Helen?
Anthony is here saying, Morena, sorry I'm running a little late here in California, behind schedule. Oh, well, you know what they say about Californians. Always late. I don't know.
I don't think they say that.
I think there was some sort of like, I don't know, like, we're supposed to know something about Californians and being late or something, but maybe not.
Okay, well, one of us knows. Yay.
But Clay says, hi and bye. I'm building a better fence out front for our new dog and not enough hours in the day, so making the most of it. Have a good one.
What?
All.
I was literally looking at photos of puppies yesterday. I want us to have a dog. Come on, we need a photo. So Clay is one on our Patreon. You have to go in a Patreon live chat. A Patreon Facebook group, right? And you've got to share a photo of the dog. There is no other way around. And I am not ending my weekend without seeing your new dog. I want to see the dog.
Yeah, I think there must be a story behind, like, you had to build a better fence. Did the dog already get out? Is this like oh no, we need to sort this out? And yeah, I hope it's better weather in Dunedin right now. It's not exactly a nice day to build a fence where we are. Speaking of fences, actually, I noticed one of our fence things has actually completely fallen over.
Fantastic. We have a completely rotten fence around the house. We do need to sort that fence, yeah. Okay, what is Helen having to say?
Helen says, when completing the traveller declaration form, do I include England and Dubai since I am travelling from England? So you sort of complete it.
I'm gonna load it while Laura starts talking about it a little bit.
So you're meant to complete the traveller declaration form before you leave for your first flight. So if Dubai is just a stopover. I mean, it depends on how the question is worded. If it's worded saying, like, what countries are you visiting before coming to New Zealand?
Yeah. I think you have to say England. I'm 99% sure.
Definitely say England, because that's where your departure is from.
Yes, you say England. That's what you say.
Yeah.
You say England.
Yeah, because you are meant to start this whole process before leaving for your first flight to come to New Zealand.
Because what they require, and I'm going to read the exact wording, they require you first international airport of departure. So you only say England, so probably Heathrow, because that's where everybody lives. Yeah. But first international airport of departure. That's why you need to enter in there.
Yeah, cool.
So here you go. We got the properly worded answer.
Yes, better than Laura worded answer. Christina says...
That was beautifully worded, Laura. I apologize.
Christina says, I saw your water bottle and was wondering if you have any recommendations on water bottles to bring with us. We want to get stainless steel, but there are many to choose from.
Well, let me recommend this one. So, a couple of things that I like a lot about this one, right? It is stainless steel, but there is like this kind of sprayed like PVC stuff on it, so it doesn't get too hot or too cold and everything, which is really good. Now it's double layered. The reason why I like that the fact is double layered is literally it keeps it to that temperature. When you saw us, so you saw Christina in the Patreon groups, I showed a lot of behind the scene. You know, I spent literally an entire day in the forest doing the recording of all those latest videos. And I literally filled it up with honey, lemon, and water, right, to keep my throat nice because it was really cold and everything. I couldn't drink it for the whole damn day because, like an absolute idiot that I am, I poured boiling water in there because I was like, it's obviously going to get cold as the day was going. It was, 1 degree Celsius for most of the day, right? Well, it was still too hot at the end of the damn day. So it kept it really, really good. So it's really good quality. But on top of that, for each item that you buy from this company called 4Oceans, they are sponsoring Air Force to clean up the ocean, and so you will remove a certain amount of pounds. Like, for example, you get the bracelets and they remove 1 pound. I think this is 3 pounds of plastic removed from the ocean. So on top of it, it supports a great cause. They're really good quality, so they're not the cheapest bottles, but genuinely compare that to other water bottles that we do have that we can't show you on screen because those damn water bottles are green. We use green screen right here. So it's going to be one of those things when, if you remember last time on Patreon, I was trying to show you the insect repellent nonsense. That wasn't good. But yeah, so 4Ocean is definitely the water bottle that we recommend. We're not paid to recommend them or anything like that, but they're really, really good. And yeah, the one issue with those kind of water bottles which have the spray around, it really does make a difference and it's really good. However, it's hand wash only, so you won't be able to wash them in the dishwasher, but it's definitely worth the extra, the fact that it is it has this spray stuff because it really is much nicer to hold as well. When it's a cold day and everything, like holding the cold metal and everything is not as great. This makes a big difference. So
Yeah.
that's the one that we will recommend that because that's the one that we use. But there is probably other ones which have like extra features and blah blah blah. That's the one I know
Yeah,
of.
I would like to just say that water bottle is really good for like, just doing like easy sort of day things. If it's
Yep.
just having a day water bottle and you're not doing, it's the problem with that water bottle is that it's actually quite heavy. So carrying it around, because it has a lot of extra metal with it. It is a little bit, it's a bit heavier than other water bottles. But it's a good one if you are mostly, say, traveling around by car, you're only getting in and out the car a few times, which is what a lot of people do when they travel around New Zealand. But if you are taking that bottle on a full day hike, if you're taking it on the Tongariro crossing for something,
Speaking of that, I'm just so thirsty now.
yeah, Robbie will do a demonstration of how this bottle works.
Play sleeps here.
Yeah, so
Drink.
yeah, so if you're looking for a water bottle for doing more like full day hikes or multi-day hikes, this is definitely not a water bottle I would recommend for that.
Oh
but
no.
For general use of day-to-day things, it's a really good water bottle.
Okay. So yeah, we expand way too much. Okay, we have Oriol. Oriol is back in Spain. So if you guys don't know, Oriol is one of our Patreon. And he just finished a honeymoon trip in both New Zealand and the Cook Islands that we helped them with at the last minute because he didn't do any research about where to dive in Aitutaki, but that's okay. So he says, hello from Spain, people. We just landed a few hours ago, fighting not to sleep, but it's time. I'll be here until I get asleep. Okay, well, we'll see when he passes out. We can't wait to see a good slideshow, a good selection of photos from you on the Facebook group. Just dump a lot of photos, into one post like Kat did. The maximum is 80 photos you can dump on Facebook. Yeah, please load some and we'll look at them together on the Patreon live session maybe next week. If you can load up like a big slideshows of photos on Facebook, that'd be really awesome in the Patreon group. And so on Patreon together, we'll look at the photo like we did with Kat. I just can't wait. I really had fun doing that last time with Kat's photo. So I really just can't wait. Okay, but
Helen says,
well, I'm not done with
sorry.
oil. I want to know if everything
Sorry.
went well. Like, how did it go in the Cook Islands? Did you end up doing the diving? Did it work? Like, there was a lot of like last minute kind of things. Like, did it work?
The lagoon cruise.
Yeah, the lagoon cruise, all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we want to know a lot about
everything.
Yeah.
New Zealand, Cook Islands.
Yeah.
We wanna
Oriol
hear
says,
it all.
don't say anything. I did some homework. Plus went to all almost snorkeling spot to verify this article firsthand. Okay, and were they all good? Which one was your favorite? I know that there is one snorkeling spot in Aitutaki that we mentioned, and we went there, and it was like just okay for us. It's by the airport, and the day we went there was really big swell, so the visibility wasn't that great, but literally everybody was raving about it. So Laura and I had a bit of a debate. It's like, we went over there, and that wasn't as good as a lot of the other snorkeling spots that we tried, right, when we went there. But everybody, including the locals, were all raving about it, so we had to include it like really high on the list as well. So I think it's called Base 1, is that correct? Base 1. And so we had to include it. So I'd love to hear if it was a good snorkeling experience at Base 1 for you, because for us it was like just okay.
Yeah, I think we got there kind of a bit on a lucky timing.
Yeah,
it was
very
a bit
swelly,
murky
very swelly,
because of the swells. Yeah.
Anyway, aside from that, Helen says, thanks both. That is what I thought. So about writing her first international departure airport there.
Yeah.
Just wanted to check, and yes, I am flying from Heathrow, and her connection flight is in Dubai. Yeah. So therefore, you're gonna say Heathrow.
Yes.
Because every Pommy is leaving from Heathrow. Let's be honest, everybody's leaving from there.
And for those of you that don't know, Pommy is what Australian and New Zealand people call English people. Just so you know.
And Robin too.
And Robin. Yeah.
Okay. What is Anthony saying?
Anthony says, so I'm doing my declaration.
If I'm
doing my declaration and I live in the USA, I'm supposed to say from the USA as well as anywhere else.
No, you're just supposed to say, so let's say if you first international flight leaving from the US is, let's say, LAX going straight to Auckland. Let's say you just say LAX.
Yeah.
That's Los Angeles Airport. Just that, right? If you're from Canada, for example, like Christina, for example, in the chat right now, she put like YVR, the Vancouver Airport. That's what she's gonna have as a first international departure, unless she flies from the US. Sorry, from Canada to the US and then from the US there, and then at that point, her first international flight would be from Canada to the US, and therefore she'll put Montreal or wherever.
Yeah.
Ottawa.
Yeah, it's just when you're booking your flights, that first flight that you're taking in order to get to New Zealand, it's kind of where you say you're starting from.
First international flight.
First international flight.
That's why I was clearing the confusion.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Christina says, perfect. Thank you. I will check them for sure. Oh, talking about the bottles. Yeah. Anything to help the ocean makes sense for sure.
Always makes sense.
What is Lauren saying? What is Laura reading Lauren's comment saying?
Lawrence says, yay, Oriel, you need to tell us about your trip. Yes, you do.
Yes, we absolutely need to hear more about your trip, Oriel, for sure. All right, so let's quickly go back to the question of the day. Just to remind you guys to vote for the question of the day. Question of the day. Ooh, question of the day. Question of the day. Yay. Yeah. Okay, Laura, what's the question of the day today?
Well, the question is, which other countries does your trip to New Zealand include? Does it include Australia? Are you just flying to New Zealand? And that's it. Are you visiting any other South Pacific countries? Or if there's any others, let us know in the comments.
Yes, and so far the vast majority of you are gonna just visit New Zealand when coming for your trip here. So that's kind of interesting. All right, so what is Oriel saying? Oriel saying, yeah, base one was good, definitely. Although I caught some currents, but definitely nice place. For me, O2 Beach was not good at all. Maybe due to the weather and poor visibility. I mean, I could not snorkel. Wow.
Oh, no.
I will try to say my opinion on all of them in Facebook.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah, and you see what I mean? That's the thing. Sometimes the conditions are slightly bit different, and so therefore, like for us, O2 Beach was really like as placid as it gets, right?
Yeah,
like, not even like a
even
wave,
without snorkeling, we could see stingrays like on top of the water.
Yes, one time we went over there without snorkeling, and we literally just saw because you saw Whitestack is not that big, so we stayed there quite a long time.
You visit quite a few places.
We went multiple times to a lot of places, and at one point, literally we went there to check out an accommodation, I think, and by the we checked like they had a restaurant as well, and we checked their porch and stuff, and from there we literally could see stingray in the water because that was that amazing. So yeah, that was kind of cool. Cool. Anne
says, hey, I'm traveling to New Zealand, Palmerston North.
Oh, cool.
I'm so anxious and excited at the same time. I'll be working full time. Oh, nice.
What are you going to do in
Palmerston North?
Yeah. What's the plan in Palmy?
Yeah. And have you checked out nzpocketguide.com for all the things to do?
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do in Palmy? Like the ultimate favorite thing? For me, it's like the Manawatu Gorge walk. Like for sure, it's really, really awesome, right? I think your favorite, you talked about it last time. That was the river trail, right? The bike.
Yeah. So there's the Manawatu River Walkway, but it's also a bike trail, and along that walkway as well is a park called Victoria Park, So yeah, Victoria Park's really cool. It's also got like a bird sort of sanctuary, like a rehabilitation center for native birds. So it's there's quite a cool little. It's like called the Bird Hospital, something like that. So yeah, and also beautiful gardens and things like that. So Palmerston and North itself is, although it gets quite a lot of
bad rap.
Yeah, a lot of bad rap from like locals here. They kind of take the mickey out of it, but it's actually
take the mickey. Oh, that's so sad Clay wasn't here. Oh my God. Somebody has to clip this and send it to Clay. Oh my Lord, that was amazing.
Yeah, so, but yeah, actually there's quite a few places in the city that's quite cool to check out. But when you want to get out the city, Manawatu Gorge is a really cool place to go and check out some beautiful native forest.
All right. Okay, Anthony says, just New Zealand when I come over, so I get the most out of it. Yeah, that makes sense. Oyal is saying, oh, you're kidding me. No, it was really amazing. Like some of our best kind of like blue turquoise lagoon with like just a strand of like white sand. Some of our best shots were literally from O2 Beach. It was that amazingly clear and stuff. But that's the thing, it depends on conditions. So you on the other side of the island you had really good conditions, we didn't, and so and that's why when we do our guide, we also ask other people, we also do our research, and we don't just include our own experience. It's not a blog, because if it's just a blog, therefore you have a skewed kind of version, and it's kind of like, well, base one's kind of nah. it's one of the best ones. It genuinely is.
Yeah,
It was just
like,
we were not lucky.
And as you're saying, like, you were unlucky when you went to Utu Beach, but yeah, for us, we were unlucky when we went to Base 1, so you never know. It's good to check out a few different spots, that's for sure. And at least on islands like Aitutaki, it doesn't take long to get to different spots.
Definitely
if you are hiring a scooter or a car or whatever, or even bikes.
Yeah. On top of it, by bike, you definitely do work out a sweat because it gets pretty
hot.
pretty hot. But since you go from a snorkeling spot to the other, you literally cool down in between. It's perfect. Like, it's ideal. Anne says she's a registered nurse, so she was watching us from Zambia.
Nice.
I think you are the first one ever to actually watch us from the Zambia. I don't think I've ever heard like anyone. We have Violet that is usually watching us from South Africa. We have a couple of people watching us from Nigeria sometimes, but I think like we really don't have that many viewers from the African continent, so it's really awesome to have somebody watching us from Zambia. And from everything we've seen from Zambia and how amazing the jungles and wildlife are over there, why the hell are you living? It just looks like an absolute gorgeous country, but I guess it's one of those things when the grass is always greener, but oh my god, it looks amazing. So yeah. Well, you're gonna have a blast coming to New Zealand, that's for sure. And hopefully you are gonna love Palmerston North. I think it's a really cool town. I think we tend to be more endeared by places that people don't like kind of diss a little bit on, and we're like, oh, it's a cool place though, and we kind of like to find reasons of why we like one place over another. But yeah.
Adil says Robin really likes the split screen view. No more split screen, please.
You guys don't like it. I'll find a different way to use that other cam then. I'm just enjoying it. I just like to have some variety, right? Do you like when I do a zoom when I just get like one person on the cam so the other have some time to kind of be able to take a drink of water or something like that? Is that okay? Does this one at least work for you? Just wanting to know, because you know, I do like to include some variety. Otherwise, you literally just see the same screen for the whole time. It's a little boring. So yeah, please do let me know if this one at least is one that you kind of.
Do you like a bit of Robin cam, a bit of Laura cam?
Yes. Is Robin cam okay or
what other
not?
cams would you like?
Yes. I'd like to know what we can have. And Anne says, "Oh, whoa, thanks a lot. You're very welcome, Anne. That's no stress at all." Okay, so today we were talking, I think it was quite fitting to be talking about rain jackets in New Zealand, as we're really talking about the tail end of winter that we're starting to have, right? So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we are literally in the last 2 weeks of winter here in New Zealand, and this winter has been really meh if you ask a lot of the ski resorts around, that's for sure. But yeah, no, the winter has been very, very wet, but that also means that we're arriving in spring. So if you're planning to travel to New Zealand in the next 3 months, which, you know, if you're watching this video, it may be the case for you, be aware that we are going to enter the season in New Zealand that is spring, and spring is notorious for having very inconsistent weather. And we say something like 4 seasons in one day in New Zealand. That's an expression that everybody uses. And it really is the case. You could literally start on a little day walk around like a mountain or in a forest or something, and the weather could literally turn on a dime, and you could literally within a couple of hours have. I'm saying literally too much. I know you're right. You're right, Christina. You were right to say that. So the weather could turn on a dime, and it could change dramatically within the first couple of hours of your hike or the last 2 hours of your hike, and you may not have any shelter when doing so. So do make sure that you pack correctly for the rain, and you take that quite seriously. Not only packing a good rain jacket is important, but also packing merino wool socks, or socks that won't get too cold. When you start getting your feet wet and walking around New Zealand or anywhere else, and when your feet start getting cold, this is really when the experience become like the worst. I didn't say literally, but actually the worst. So yeah, do be aware of that, and do pack for that. If you're traveling in New Zealand within the next 3 months, be prepared for some rain. It will be raining in New Zealand and during your trip. And we were talking about traveling in New Zealand with Oyo literally like a few minutes ago. I said literally again, oh, this is so hard. And we had some issues with him, and he was asking us like last minute questions on the Patreon Facebook group, and asking us, hey guys, I'm kind of stuck for options right here, because there is so much cloud, so much rain, and which option should I take, right? And we were able to kind of find him and his lovely lady things to do at the last minute in order to still have a lot of fun around the country, right? So do make sure that you plan in your itinerary as well some leeways for the rain. All right, just wanted to give an appeal to people which are planning that trip in the next 3 months, because a lot of people are kind of thinking, oh, well, it's not winter no more, it'll be fine.
Nah, you still need to be prepared with rain jackets and stuff. Throughout the whole year. Even in winter, even in summer, I would bring a rain jacket to New Zealand.
Yeah, for sure. But like especially all the other seasons. Lawrence says, I actually bought one even from November. It's a Marmot waterproof jacket. It's super light and thin, easy to pack. Well, actually, on NZPocketGuide.com, we do have an article which is the best rain jackets to pack for New Zealand. We tried a lot of rain jackets throughout our time in New Zealand.
Yeah, and we suggested some different brands. Marmot's one of the brands also on there that we suggest. So if you want to check out a few different brands that we recommend, if you want to head over to nzpocketguide.com and search rain jacket, if you just want to see some examples of rain jackets that are good to use, then by all means check out that page on the website. That will give you some good ideas. And they're sort of brands that you tend to be able to find at most international outdoor stores.
And the way to find that, you can go to travel tips, prepare your trips, and gears and packing list. And right here on that section of the site, so travel tips. So again, travel tips, prepare your trips, gears and packing list. Right here we have like how to choose a good hiking boots, for example, and we also have like a lot of backpack stuff and rain jackets and all this kind of thing. So we have like 2 pages worth of advice right here. And that will be quite handy for Shells as well. Can you read what Shells... No, I'm going to read because I'm the only one on screen. Shells is saying, my husband and I are traveling to New Zealand for the first time in November, looking now for good hiking shoes and waterproof jackets. So literally... you have right here the good how to choose a good hiking boots. We have all our tips right here on the site, so it's going to be quite handy for you. Shells, and then for the rain jackets, you click on page 2 right here, because we have that many advice. And somewhere here, what's the best rain jacket for New Zealand? Right here in red, you can't really miss it. And yeah, we do have a lot of recommendations just because it's very important to have some. But yeah, so you're traveling in November. That still is quite important to have a good rain jacket, good hiking boots. But don't forget, good wool, natural material kind of socks that will keep your feet warm even if the material itself gets wet. That'd be quite handy. Even for day walk, it is always handy to have one of those. On hand. Sorry. What is Lauren saying?
Lauren says the first one on your list is the one I actually bought without even reading the article, just the woman version.
Here you go. Hey, that probably mean that we're pretty good advice in it. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So obviously, usually the jackets come in either like men or women versions, but they're pretty much do the same thing, so that's all fine.
And she says, great minds think alike. I like it. All right, so let me quickly tell you. Oh, no, what is going on right here?
I thought I'd do something a little bit different and take you guys to our local forest. We want to welcome Chad and Jane. We are so glad to have you as supporters at the moment.
That's supposed to not be on screen. What's going on? Okay, here you go. I want to tell you about Patreons. But Chad and Jane, welcome again. I'm glad to have you on board. Anyway, if you guys want to join us on Patreon, it's a bunch of really awesome people that are gathering together in a secret Facebook group, and we're planning our trip to New Zealand together. It's a lot of fun. There is a lot of other perks, including PDF maps of New Zealand, travel guide, those kind of things. Plus, you get an extra 1 hour of these live sessions where I'm a little better with the editing, hopefully. But plenty of awesome tips for you. It's a great way to reward our hard work and also get yourself a lot of perks in there. We add notes to your itinerary. We help you out with a lot of stuff. So if you want to join us, it's like there's a monthly fee for it. So it starts at $5 a month, but you can cancel at any time and you are only charged at the beginning of the month. So you're more than welcome to cancel at any time. If you just want to stay with us 1 month to just give us $5, you can do that, and you still score the same perks than everybody else, which is quite a lot of fun. And if you join today, you'll have access to our extra live session literally in about 30 minutes, an extra one. So that's pretty cool. All right, so join us on Patreon. It's fun, and I need to get better at editing. And now I'm going to get back here by doing that.
And we can help you with your itinerary too.
Yeah, I thought I said it, but that's fine. All right, where are we at on the live chat?
Well, we just have Lawrence saying great minds think alike, and
it looks like you guys are all planning your trip quite soon to New Zealand, but nobody has too many questions, which is quite interesting. So what I like to do is, because everybody is kind of going to land in Auckland, right? I'd like to talk about some of the best places which are to visit in Auckland. Something that we cover quite extensively. We do a lot of covering that on the channel. There's a lot of videos about that, but may as well talk about that while you guys are coming up with your next question. So Laura, what is one of your favorite things to do in Auckland, which is not one of the islands, Laura? Stop it.
It has to be. I'm still going to mention it.
Go for it.
Just in case anybody hasn't heard before, or was watching that's new, one of the really awesome things that I think, if you are spending a few days in Auckland Central, you absolutely have to take one of the ferries to one of the islands. There's various different islands to go to. My favorite is Rangitoto Island, which is...
My favorite is Tiritiri Matangi.
Yeah, well, Rangitoto Island is like one of the newest volcanoes in Auckland, so it has like lava fields, lava caves to explore, lots of beautiful hiking in the forest, awesome views of volcanic crater, and then from the summit you'll get to see the Auckland skyline across the water. It's a really awesome sort of day trip to go over there and do some short walks in the area. But as Robin says, Tiritiri Matangi is also a really awesome option. It takes a little bit longer to take the ferry to Tiritiri Matangi, but once you get there, you're at a bird sanctuary where you get to see the famous New Zealand birds that, you know, you'll come to love once you get here. At first, people are usually like, why are people so nuts about birds in New Zealand? Like, what's going on? Where are all the koalas? But in New Zealand, yeah, you will become a bit of a bird nerd by the time you leave New Zealand. I can promise you that.
What do you like about Waiheke Island?
Waiheke Island is another island that you can visit. That's also quite short ferry to get to, and over there you can enjoy maybe some vineyard winery hopping. It is known for its vineyards, so you can take various bus tours to go and try out some of the different wine, do wine tastings at all the vineyards. But if you're not really into that, then there's some beautiful beaches you can check out. There's even small towns. It's more of a populated island, so you can get to, you know, experience cafes, maybe hire a bike to cycle around the island, although I did do that once, and actually there are a few uphill sections that are quite tough, so you do have to be quite fit. But otherwise there is a bus that goes around, like a hop on hop off bus that you can use to get around the island as well.
So Lawrence is asking you, is it alright, so just quick follow up, I'll go back up in the live chat afterwards. She says, is it alright to buy the ferry ticket on the day off? I didn't plan a lot of days and wanted to give me time to do things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So all you have to do is show up at the ferry terminal. It's a good idea to kind of get a
know at what time the
ferries depart, but you can easily find that online. They have the schedules online. So, but all you have to do is show up at the ferry terminal and buy your ticket for the next ferry or the ferry after that, whichever time you want to go for. And it's as easy as that. So by all means, you can book last minute.
Yes. Krishna says she just ordered a water bottle just now while we were chatting. So that's cool. She got a 25 ounces size. I have no idea what that is. Is it this one is about a liter, I'd say. Is that what you got? I don't know what 25 ounces. I was trying to look at the bottom. It doesn't say what's the sizing of it.
Yeah, we don't do fluid ounces on this side of the world. So
No.
it kind of goes over our head how much that actually is.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hopefully that's the right size for you. I'm sure it will be.
No idea. I should have hidden that in the what's in the basket game, for the Patreon stuff. I should have hidden this one, so then we could have talked about it more.
Oh well.
Michael Stewart said, "Hey, what's going on? Oh, normal live Q&A live stream. Yeah, I'm just changing sometimes some setups, and I've been told I can't use the split screen no more, so I have to just use the zooms."
Robin is not feeling bitter.
Very grumpy about that.
Yeah.
All right. What do we have with Ash? What is Ash saying?
Ash says, we'll have only about half a day in Auckland after landing and we'll be jet lagged. We will probably only visit Mount Eden. That's a good thing to do. It's free to do and you get some really awesome views of the city. So yeah, definitely You can either walk from the city centre. It's a bit of a trek, but you can definitely do it on an evening.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can drive up. You could even drive up to the summit if you really don't want to. If you don't want to hike up to the summit.
Don't do that. Just walk. It's really not.
Yeah, you might as well
walk.
park at the bottom and then walk up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is definitely a really a viable thing to do if you've got about half a day in Auckland.
Yeah, and Ash, we actually published a video literally this week out of the 20 or 25 videos that we published this week. We published a video about how to deal with jet lag, so maybe you want to check that out.
But it is good to stay active. Definitely you're doing the right thing, like just going out there and doing like a easy going activity where, it's better to actually go out and do that rather than, say, hitting the road straight away and driving while you're really tired. It's better to go, stay in Auckland, do an activity that you can probably do on foot or do your own thing. Even just visiting a museum or visiting an art gallery. It's like staying awake and doing something is definitely the best way to sort of tackle the jet lag when you first arrive.
Christina, Kiwi Lauren
says, "Hi, I'm at a 10-hour rehearsal for Rock of Ages, and we are only on a 15-minute break. I am dressed in leather with a lot of bad 80s makeup on.
What?
It's an 80s rock musical and opens in 3 days.
I have to say, dancing in leather under the spotlight is not something I'm looking forward to doing, so I'm really happy I'm not an artist or anything like that.
No,
That sounds like the absolute worst.
I wish you could share photos on the live chat right now, because that would be, I would love to see that.
All right, Christina says, I already read Christina. Kiwi Lauren says, I have 16 more years of teaching before retirement, but I'm already dreaming of the day when I am free to travel to New Zealand any time of the year for any length of time.
Yeah.
Nice. That would be fun, yeah. Michael Stewart says something naughty and YouTube hided it. I need to click here to see it. What did he say?
Say it.
He says, I'm still trying to process how you broke your arm while sliding down on your beep. Okay, that word's not okay, mate. You can't say it.
YouTube doesn't like that
YouTube
word.
doesn't like it. I had to click into it to show it. That's not... Body parts are not accepted by YouTube.
No.
I landed and so I slid down and then my elbow kind of hit one of the slab that were used to do
to construct the stairs.
To construct the steps,
yeah.
And by hitting here, it just went, and all the bones kind of hurt each other, and that's why it got broke on the wrist.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And also because he had the camera in one hand, so his he was breaking all the weight of his whole fall, including a big backpack as well on his bag. On his back, sorry. So he had the whole weight of all that just on one wrist. It's just a freak accident.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, check out our videos of us, our video of us visiting Mount Manaya. And apologies for the swearing. You'll realize why it is demonetized, but it's a fun video to watch, and you'll see how the emergency services in New Zealand work. So that'll be quite educational. So you type Mount Manaya. I'm gonna give you the name right here, Mount Manaya on YouTube, and then type that, and then NZ Pocket Guide or whatever, but type those words on YouTube, and you'll see what we're talking about and how Robin hurt himself pretty well. All right, what is Chels saying?
Chels says, do you guys happen to have a tour company you recommend for a Milford Sound day trip from Queenstown? Feeling a bit overwhelmed with all the options.
Yeah, there is a lot of different tour companies in Milford Sound. So what I'll do is that, because they're all really, really different for you. So we have actually the best Milford Sound tour on NZ Pocket Guide, right? So I'm going to give you the link on the live chat right now, Chels. And that's our articles are on there. You literally will have like the 10 best ones that we tried. We know they're really good, right? But they're all very different. So you can pick which one you want just out of those few options. And also we actually tell you what it kind of profile the best for. So I think it's going to be quite handy for you on this one. So yeah, I hope that's going to be quite helpful for you, Chels. Hey, Rob V made it. That's quite cool. He popped in. He was asking me questions on the comments. Anyway,
nice.
We'll get you a question in a second, Robbie. We have a couple of extra people to talk to. Kiwi Lauren says,
"Lol, I'll send you a photo with a costume on Messenger." Yes, please do. That'll be funny.
I'll try to have a look. Yeah.
That might be you now? Maybe.
Yes.
Autumn Days says
that's Shital from the Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
That's her
okay,
name. Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Saying, hey guys, I was wondering if a 5 to 10 minute transfer with Intercity is a good idea. We are considering booking a bus from Owakuni to Wellington, and there is a 5-minute transfer in the town of Bulls. I've contacted Intercity, and they've said that it is fine as the driver would know to wait, but I'm a bit skeptical. I think...
I don't think I will do it.
Really?
5 to 10 minutes. I mean, everybody's different, but
5 to 10 minute transfer, but the transfer... That's funny.
that's
pretty badass. I mean, sorry, bad bum. We can't say that on YouTube.
No, can't say that on YouTube. Okay, so listen. If the company assures you that the driver will wait, then it's kind of on them if the transfer doesn't work. The problem is, in my personal opinion, right, is that if the transfer doesn't work, it may be on them and they may just try to sort something out and everything, but you lose a lot of time on your trip and you don't have that much time in the country. So Autumn Day right now is one of our Patreon subscribers, right? So we've seen our itinerary, and that's why we can talk a bit more in specific terms, and we're helping with them. So yeah, they can say, yeah, we guarantee this, we guarantee that, but their guarantee will be to put you back on the next bus if you miss or something like that, right? But that doesn't give you time back that you missed for your next activity, and then your next stop, and then your next things, right? It's really short, man. It's 5 to 10 minutes transfer.
So. Maybe we need a bit of clarification. Does it just mean that the transfer lasts for 5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah, that means, like, for example, she's arriving at 8:55 and the next bus is at 9.
Okay.
That's what you mean, right?
Yeah. It doesn't mean like they're going to transport you to the next no. I'm just trying to
You're overthinking it. I think that's exactly what that is. Yeah.
I think that I feel like it's a common...
Yeah, that's what she meant.
Yeah, okay.
So, Laura says yes, I say, my gut feeling says no, but...
I think Intercity have been, like, they have to change a lot of their schedules at the moment because there's less tourists in the country, and I imagine there would be, you guys probably wouldn't be the only ones making that connection, because a lot of people would travel from Owakuni to Wellington. It's like, it's kind of on a bit of a popular route, so I imagine that it's like a protocol that they have in place, like that, like.
But there's so much that can go. You're telling me that if there is anything that goes wrong,
like
in a trip, like there's, I don't know, a road accident that delays them or something, that's anything that goes wrong, right? They make the entire bus wait for the extra hour. Really?
That's true.
I feel like there is a lot of factors which I understand that Intercity is really good at staying on time. Genuinely, it is, and it probably, like, there is 90% of chances that it's 99% of things that can go fine, right? There genuinely is, and Owakuni is a rather large kind of, as Laura was saying, bus kind of area. You know what I mean? It kind of like, this is where you exchange a lot of, you turn routes in New Zealand to the Northern End, right? So you do a bunch here, but so they're good at staying on time, right? But there is a lot which is out of their hands, right? There is out of their control.
Yeah, so okay, I get what you're saying. So maybe a solution, because unfortunately Intercity is the only. Another way. I don't know what your budget is or what time you like. What if the schedule would fit with you? But there's also an option to take the train from Owakuni to Wellington, because there is a train line that stops in Owakuni and goes down to Wellington. This train line only operates probably about 3 times a week. The Northern Explorer, is that on at the moment?
I don't think it's on.
Okay, it might not be on at the moment.
I think the Northern, it's not going to be on when she's here.
Okay. Apologies, maybe scratch that.
Yeah. Okay. So listen,
we could maybe
No, here's what I'm going to say. I've got the solution. Sorry, if you want. No, okay.
I just have another solution, but might be the same as you.
So here's what I'm going to be saying. If your 5-minute or 10-minute connection is like earlier in the day and there is a follow-up bus in the same day, then you don't miss that much, right? You're not delayed multiple days. But if it's the last bus that you can take to get down to Wellington on that day, then I wouldn't do it. But if for example, you're doing, and I'm making up numbers right here, but for example, you try to make that connection at 10 a.m., right? And there's another bus at like 2 and another bus at 6 later, right? fine. That's fine. The NZDT will find you a spot in the bus on the bus at 2 or the bus at 6 for sure, and you still make it, and that doesn't change your itinerary. You have an extra 4 hours, Q&A. At that point, you go on
Bulls, the transfers in Bulls, yeah.
You have an extra few hours in Bulls, for example. You just message us on the Facebook group, and we tell you a couple of things to do around Bulls. There is one museum there, and just laugh at the road sign, and that's it. So I will say, if it's not the last option of the day, then definitely do it, because they guarantee it to you, and you'll make it by the end of the day. If it is the last option of the day at that point, well, try to make the same connection but earlier in the day, or try to find another option. That would be my gut feeling. What was your solution?
I was just going to say maybe you can, because I know from your itinerary you were spending time with family in Wellington. So maybe you can spend if there's a possibility to take the intercity bus to another stopover on the way down and maybe spend the night somewhere that you might be interested in, and then take the next intercity bus the next day to get down to Wellington. That could be an option as well. You could see if there was anywhere between Owakuni and Wellington that you would be interested in visiting for a half day. There's another option as well.
All right, Michael Stewart says, again, telling me no cussing, even though Laura basically saying the F-bomb 3 times, lol. Yeah, in that video is clearly demonetized by YouTube, by the way, because, there is a lot of that. But, it was just funny. I thought that for one-off, it was worth doing that. All right, so Rob V, which has been commenting on our video, recently, says, "Hey y'all, thank you very much for the quick response the other day. Do y'all ever do moving, immigration, etc. live stream, or just holiday travel stream mainly?" So it's mostly holiday and travel stream, because in New Zealand there is a law that states that you cannot give immigration advice unless you are a registered immigration advisor. So I will actually urge for very much a lot of caution in listening to other people's advice. There's a lot of wrong advice going about, and we see them happening all the time. So we stick to either very generic things, but we talk a lot about life in New Zealand, right? So if you're planning on moving to New Zealand, it's still a great place to kind of hear a lot about life in New Zealand. Like, for example, in last week on our Patreon group, we were playing a game where we were trying to guess the price of items in supermarket, just to understand the cost of life when traveling in New Zealand. But that applies as well. You still need to buy a pack of pasta when you are going to be living in New Zealand as well. So we do have actually 3 people, I think, now on our Patreon group, which are people that are going to be moving to New Zealand. So but no matter what, even moving to New Zealand, Rob, you will still want to travel around the country first to see if it's the right thing for you, and that's our number 1 tip for you. But just still hang out with us. It's a lot of fun. Chell says, "Perfect, thank you so much. You're very welcome." That's regarding the link of the best Milford Sound places. And then Sheetal says, "Good point. Yes, that's what I meant. Okay, we read that." And then she says, "Thanks for the advice. We'll do more research." I think my option is the best one.
I think Robin's option, but also maybe just have a quick search online to see if the Northern Explorer is operating on the day that you want to leave Owakuni, because that could be another option. Just quick search for that.
Cool. I'm just gonna hide myself quickly. Here you go. Our search now finally looks good. It literally just was fixed by our web guy. So thank you so much, Andrew. I know you're not watching. He's busy working on the site right now. But our web guy finally fixed our search. It does look pretty now. Here you go. The search has been fixed on the site, so I'm pretty excited about it. So it now looks pretty when you do a search on the site, and you'll find things easier and everything. So please go do some search on our website. I'd love for you guys to do that. It was literally fixed by the last time I actually showed you the search too now, so I'm pretty excited. So yay.
And that's taken about, how long has the search been faulty? 3 years?
No, 3 months to fix, but it has been broken for about 9.
Yeah.
So yay. Anyway, happy times.
This is a big deal for us.
Yeah, we're really happy about it. This is really big. I want to crack open a bottle of some type of alcohol beverage and
we
drink
have
it.
some cider in the fridge. I mean,
that's true. But it's
too
also
early?
9 a.m. It's also 9 a.m. So let's move on to the next question.
Kiwi Lauren said she can wander around and take pictures of all the bull puns if she's delayed. Concert bull at the police station.
Yeah. I mean, that's something to do. Definitely something that Sheetal is coming to New Zealand to do for road signs. Yeah,
absolutely.
And Kiwi Lauren also asked, Owakune is the town with the huge carrot, right? It is the town with the huge carrot.
Make sure you don't miss that. When you're visiting Okuni.
Yep. Okay, Extreme Talauta says Morena. What does Morena means, Laura?
It means, again, good morning.
Yeah, people are jumping on it now.
Yeah, good morning in the Maori language, Te Reo Maori.
All right, Kiwi Lauren is back to her rehearsal. Have fun, break a leg. Then we have Autumn Shita says, thanks for the advice. Michael Stewart says, question, are you two British? We now are both New Zealanders. But I was born in France, and Laura was born
British.
in a very, very exotic country of Great Britain.
Yes.
Okay. And what is Anthony Comstock saying?
Anthony says his signature phrase, stay safe, but I'm here until the end.
Yes. Just quickly nudging us to say that in about 5 minutes we're wrapping this up. And then we jump to the Patreon exclusive where we'll talk about life in New Zealand a bit. Okay, Rob says, no wonder it's so hard to find good info about moving there. It shouldn't be too hard to get a travel visa, I think. So that's the thing. Immigration New Zealand genuinely has a really good website. So on their website, you'll be able to do pretty much everything on your own, both Laura and I, which, I'm not even a native English speaker, and I was able to do all my immigration things all on my own using only and solely their website. So, yeah, the thing is more like acclimatation to like kind of life in New Zealand. Everything is more like the thing that kind of is harder for like people coming to the country, and that's the thing that we discuss a lot. So that's all good. That it's the right place for you to do that. But the immigration part is genuinely it's straightforward, right? It's tick box to tick. Can you tick the tick boxes? Yes. Well, then you can get your visa. Can you not tick the tick boxes? Well, no. Well, then you can't go. You can't get your visa. It's not harder than that. In all fairness. What is Adil having to say?
Adil says, apologies, Robin. No offense intended. I'm not trying to tell you how to run your channel.
Hey, you are. But that's the thing. The channel is for you guys. So I actually appreciate genuine, candid feedback, right? If that view is something you hate, it's okay. You just tell us. And I just want to do something with that extra camera. I have the possibility now. I got the setup where I can have 2 cameras. I want to do something fun with it. So I just need to find something to do. So that's why.
We'll work on it. We'll find something else fun to do.
We will, sir. We will find something fun to do with it. Okay, Michael Stewart retracted the message.
He retracted a message about me being British and chip chip cheerio. I did read it just before, but
boo, Laura, boo.
Yeah, but maybe he had second thoughts.
Rob says, that's why you all recommend I should check it out first before getting a study/work visa. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. You always want to check. You're about to make a life-changing decision to move somewhere, right? So you've got to visit the country first to see if it's your vibe. I cannot begin to understand people that decide to move to a place without checking it out first. You're making a lifelong decision. You want to check it out to know if it's your thing. Second, you're making a lifelong decision. You want to be in charge. You want to be in control of your decision. And so therefore, you want to be the one doing all the paperwork. If you're not, you're literally putting on somebody that is just waiting for a paycheck to actually do the paperwork for you. That's going to change your whole life. Hell no, I'm not trusting them at all. Do it on your own and be in control of your own destiny, mate.
Yeah, I mean, even if you have it in your mind that, New Zealand is definitely for me. I just know it type thing. Well, a lot of things are as always what they seem. You definitely need to experience a place first. And for us, it just happened to be, the place that we didn't come to New Zealand with the intention of staying here. It just turned out.
Oh, I wasn't a bender around the world.
Yeah. It just ended up being, the right place, the right circumstances, etc., etc. But that's definitely not going to be the case for everyone. And some people might come here with huge expectations, but then realize that maybe it's not all it cracked up to be, or there was something that, it's just like, oh, it's actually better in my own country, or it's better in another country. You don't really know until you actually get there and experience the things that you see on Instagram, the beautiful shots. It's obviously a sort of fantasy
You're not moving on top of Roy's Peak, mate.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, those travel experiences going around every day. New Zealand's so beautiful. That's not going to be your everyday life in New Zealand if you're moving here. So there's a lot of other considerations you definitely need to take into account, and also knowing which town to move to as well. You definitely want to travel around and get some experience of the different towns and cities, or maybe even village, or maybe you want to live in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, definitely experience New Zealand first.
Michael did put his message back about the cheap Cheerio.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad to see there was the teacup emoji.
Yeah, I mean that is definitely that's a message worthy. You know, any message with an emoji. Rob, if you're gonna become a regular watching us, you've got to learn to use the emojis. We do love a good emoji, so you know, join us. It's happening every single week. This live session, you know, so you can just join us at this time every week for an hour. But your comments, if they come with emojis, it makes us even happier. We do like a good emoji. Speaking of emojis, no, not at all. Which other country does your trip to New Zealand include? Is the question of the day. That's the question that we ask you today. So let's put a quick jingle. Question of the day. Question of the day. Yeah. Question of the day. Laura is making a cringy face. All right. So the question of the day was: so which other countries does your trip to New Zealand include? At 68%. Ooh, we are almost close to naughty numbers. You guys say that New Zealand is the only country you're going to be visiting on your next trip to New Zealand. 12% of you will visit other countries. Nobody actually commented, so I don't know which are the other countries, but I'd love to know. Australia at 9%, and then South Pacific countries are 9%. So there is about, well, in total, there is about 30% of you that are going to be visiting other countries on top of New Zealand, and there is 70% of you, or 68% of you, that's going to visit only and solely New Zealand. So that's kind of cool and exciting. I like that.
Very interesting data, Robin.
I know. Thank you, Data. Laura's favorite Star Trek character at the moment. Okay, Extreme Talota says, how are we? We're doing great. We're about to start the Patreon one, so let's jump over there. Yes, since you're one of our lovely supporters. Rob V got his first emoji on the board. I like that.
What is that emoji? Is that
just
like
somebody doing like that? I think.
Oh, I thought he was giving the middle finger.
And Michael Stewart says emoji with one of those. Okay, somebody I did not give. You know what, Rob? Since you know. I'm robbing you, Rob. You've got the award of the day. I realized I didn't give it to anyone. You've got the best username of the week. Here you go. This week, you've got the best username. Here you go with some music, some shenanigans on screen. Enjoy.
And that is all you'll get from this reward.
Yeah, that's it.
We cannot afford to send you anything.
No, exactly. So you get nothing else. But you got the award. All right. It looks like it made Rob happy. Anyway, thank you guys for a great week. We are going to be back exactly at the same time next week. In the meantime, right now, we're going to jump on the Patreon exclusive live session, and Laura is going to wrap us up with the word of the day, which is the best type of noodles.
Spicy noodles. Sure.
This is becoming nonsense.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for the nice word, Adil.
See you later.